Well, looks like WWE got it half right today. Those goddamn sons of bitches. We got SmackDown to talk about. We have Money in the Bank to talk about. We have Collision to talk about. Lots of wrestling tonight. It's Saturday night, episode 72. Let's get it. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Another episode of Smells Like Wrasslin, episode 72. We got a lot to talk about, so we're going to get into it. Money in the Bank was today. It was a good show. Stuff that I thought should happen didn't happen. Some stuff that I didn't expect to happen happened, and some stuff that I thought should happen did happen. So it's a nice little poo-poo platter of everything. We'll go through this. Listen, my boy LA Knight didn't win. Now, I was worried for him the second he started getting over on his own. That's when I was like, all right, listen, they could just pull the trigger on this guy and just be like, hey, let's do it. You know, he looks like a Vince guy. You know, he's big, he's jacked, he's good on the mic, all that shit. He's serviceable in the ring, everything. So I'm like, why not? But apparently, word around the campfire is that he's too old. But he's like, I think LA Knight's like 40. Finn Balor's 41. All right. And there's and you know what I mean? And Finn Balor isn't winning any titles either. So maybe it is the age thing, man. But it's like the crowd loves him. You know what I mean? Like, that's the point of the World Heavyweight title. The point of the World Heavyweight title is that guys who get over that aren't Vince's guy have a belt that they could defend, and it's an important belt, and the fans will feel vindicated with their guy getting a roll and whatever, and then Vince could do whatever the fuck he wants to do with the Undisputed Universal, Super Duper Bonsai Kalamazoo fucking piece of shit, three goddamn fucking belts. All right? So, but like apparently, I guess apparently not. They're going to give it to Damian Priest. Listen, Damian Priest is like a good option too. I mean, no one else in that battle royal I thought should hold on to that Money in the Bank. No, Doom, I was not invited to the LA orgy. But then again, LA Knight wasn't invited to the New York orgy. So there you go. All right. I guess I must have forgot to send his invitation in the mail. Oops. But I mean, I thought LA Knight should have won the thing. I mean, it's just like, it is like, that's one of the things like I kind of like about AEW. Like when a guy's starting to get like really over, they're like, all right, well, let's listen to the fans and do something with him. You know what I mean? So does it happen all the time? No, but I feel like most of the time when it feels like, well, except for the whole like what they did with Sammy Guevara, there's a group of like 4 men who it was not working out when and they didn't listen to the crowd. Number 1 is Cody Rhodes. Number 2 is Sammy Guevara. Number 3 is Scorpio Sky, and number 4 is Ethan Page. Those 4 men right there. I felt like those were guys that like seemed to be getting over on their own organically, and they didn't fucking do anything about it. You know what I mean? I thought Men of the Year was a good tag team. They never did anything about it. They gave Scorpio Sky a TNT title reign, and they fucking like it was just dog shit fucking booking for his title reign. But granted, that's been like a reoccurring problem with AEW. Like, they know how to build up somebody to have them win a title, but they don't know how to book title reigns. I say this every fucking week. I've said it for months. I've almost said it since the inception of the podcast. All right. AEW just doesn't know how to follow through with title reigns, and title reigns come from making contenders. Like, the problem is, like, I think is that like you have to just keep on building people. You have to. It's constant. And especially if you're booking every week, there should be always someone in the pan heating up, ready to go. There should be someone who's cold and we're putting him on the fan and we're de-thawing him. And then another person is getting is getting a little bit warmer, and he's cooking. And then we're cooking, and all of a sudden we're sending fucking steaks out there. We're sending that prime steak out there to the fans. It's just like, they just don't do it, man. They just don't do it. Like, this is what's happening right now with Chris Statlander's reign. Like, you want to know a successful title reign that's happening right now? Orange motherfucking Cassidy. That guy is having a fantastic title reign right now. Fantastic. The matches he's had are great. He's putting over the belt. He's putting the people he's facing over. He's getting himself over. That is probably one of the better title reigns that AEW has produced in quite some time. You know? Statlander right now, she's just beating she beat Taya Valkyrie on Rampage. She's beating, I would like to see her defend the belt on fucking Dynamite too. Like, I'd like to see her 1 week. Actually, she might have already. I'm not really too sure. But it's just like, her title matches aren't memorable, which means her reign isn't memorable. I think she fought Taya Valkyrie, and she fought Lady Frost tonight. And I'm trying to remember, like, who else she fought, but, like, that shit isn't working out. You know? But, like, that's the funny thing. And, Doom, you're making a good point. Like, a lot of people just thought because it was Orange Cassidy, it was impossible for him to be taken seriously as a champion. But, like, it's like they're seriously booking him as a serious champion. Every single champion that AEW has needs to be booked like Orange Cassidy's title reign is right now. 100%. 100%. But, like, I don't know. We're getting off topic. We were talking about Money in the Bank. So, listen, Damian Priest winning. I mean, like, Judgment Day is a very over group. There's definitely a lot of stuff they could go and do with them. Rhea Ripley is super over right now. Dominic is a mega heel. Finn right now is still doing this thing, and Damian Priest had the rub with freaking Bad Bunny and all that shit. So it's like, It does make sense for the belt to kind of go to Judgment Day. You know what I mean? I kind of would have liked to see it on Finn. I always feel like Finn was gypped out of a legit title reign, and I think he has better character work now and character development that he can actually have a good title reign. You know what I mean? Like, he's got a heel faction that could cheat for him. There are tons of different matches and tons of different guys you could put to Finn. And if you want to book shit the way that WWE books shit, and it's going to be all these like fuck finishes that they like to do, there's plenty of ways that you could do it with a team like Judgment Day. But it does look like it looks like they're going to have some sort of friction between Damian and Finn Balor. I'm assuming it's going to be Damian that's going to go face, and Finn's going to keep on going heel. But I don't know. I'm not sure. But, like, I really did want LA Knight to win. I thought it would have been cool if he beat freaking Seth Rollins. I think LA Knight's probably the only other person that's, like, as over as Seth is right now, outside of, like, anyone in the bloodline. But they didn't do it. And but what they did get right was we actually did get to see Roman get pinned tonight. The Usos come away with the victory in London against Roman and Solo. That was awesome. Awesome. They finally fucking did it right. Roman has been pinned for the first time since 2019. Almost about 3.5 years. This guy hasn't been pinned or submitted. Wow. Now, he's been a part of losses, but he's never been the one to get pinned or submitted. That's wild. That's fucking crazy. Who's going for champion? Who's Taka? Taka who? Yeah, and you're right, Doom. The serious guys are booked like it's fucking Chikara out there. You know what I mean? Like, there's no serious booking for the serious guys. But they have freaking Roman right now. He's got the longest title reign in the last century. And that's also up there with Gunther. Another thing that happened. Drew McIntyre makes his return to the WWE. I know that there was a lot of speculation as to if he was going to come back. Is he in contract? Is he out of contract? But, hey, man, he showed up in front of his hometown crowd, and the place popped, and it looks like he might be the guy to take the belt off of Gunther, which is great because I do think that frees up Gunther to go for a main title run. Now, it is very possible that the guy that beats Seth Rollins is going to be Gunther. Because I always kind of thought it was going to be Cody beats Roman, and then like Gunther wins the Rumble and ends up challenging Cody and beats Cody. But there's a strong possibility that he could be going for Rollins' title right now. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's gonna happen. I don't know who's gonna drop the title first, Roman or Rollins. I'm not really too sure because I feel like, you know, they won't do two heel champions, and then right now you have like a heel champion and a babyface champion, so it kind of balances itself out. So I don't see them going and taking the belt off of Rollins anytime soon. I think it's quite possible that Rollins might hold on to this belt all the way through Mania and probably just lose it at Mania. I think there might be two major title changes at Mania, both for the heavyweight title and the Universal and the Undisputed Universal title. Also, Cena comes out and drops a big tease that WrestleMania in London is a possibility. Now, obviously, I mean, okay, now obviously this is just my opinion. When you see AEW with a bunch of guys that nobody knows sell 77, as of right now, I think it's 77,000 tickets at Wembley. If I was Vince, I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, hey, they know all my guys. I'm gonna put it on in London too. He's gonna puke. You know, like, I just have a feeling like that's probably what he saw. And you know, like, you know, cue the gif of like Vince like sniffing that money and shit. So, I mean, come on. You know, like, if I would have saw another company doing like almost 100,000 with guys that nobody knows on a card that hasn't even been booked yet, Vince could 100% put out a card that does like 100,000, definitely. I also think that the international crowd for a UK event is going to be gigantic. It's going to be very much not a North American crowd. You know what I mean? So it's going to be mostly people from outside of the country. I mean, like, when WrestleMania is here, I could guarantee you that the majority of the crowd is made up from people from the United States, definitely. I mean, it's easier for us to travel anywhere in the States than it is for us to travel across the pond. And so now you're going to have the adverse effects. So I'm very curious as to how many people in Europe. And now listen, we're not just talking about London. We're talking about Germany. We're talking about the Netherlands. We're talking about Russia. We're talking about all Spain, Italy, everything that's over there. It's easier to get to London and over there. You take trains. You could take planes. You could drive. You know what I mean? So it's not just one country. You know what I mean? So I'm very curious to see how that's going to turn out. If I'm not mistaken, the WWE kind of books their WrestleManias very far in advance. So if London's going to happen, do not expect this next year or the year after that. I'm pretty sure like the WrestleManias for the next couple of years are booked. I think Nashville is supposed to host one either next year or the year after. So I don't expect the WWE to be in London for WrestleMania until probably closer to 2030. I would say maybe like 2027, possibly. You know, what are we in right now? 2023? So yeah, it could be like 2026, 2020, like anywhere between 2026 and 2029, I think it's going to happen. So it is not going to happen soon. By then, AEW would be the mainstay and would have done probably several shows if All In is a success and they decide that it's financially viable to do it again. You know what I mean? I mean, I still think that they need to start booking Grand Slam seriously. And I also think that it should be maybe its own standalone event. That maybe, you know what I mean? Like, because like they could fit 20,000 in there. You know, a lot of the stadiums that, you know, when you're watching AEW and when you're watching Dynamite and Collision, like, those are not very large arenas. Those are probably like maybe 5,000 to 7,000 seat arenas. And then when they do like the big pay-per-views, like for Double or Nothing and shit like that, those are the ones that are probably somewhere between probably 12 to 15. But when they did Grand Slam, they did 20,000, like 100 and something. You know what I mean? Granted, that was pretty much on the backs of the fact that Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, Kenny Omega were all going to be there. in some way, shape, or form. I think Punk made an appearance, but he didn't wrestle. Obviously, Danielson and Omega wrestled. Adam Cole, I think, was in a match. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's how you book 20,000. Like, you put two big name guys and put a big name match on there and boom, sell it. So, Grand Slam is supposed to be happening in New York again, September 20th. Yours truly will fucking be there with bells on. So, don't expect for there to be a podcast on September 20th because I'm going to be out. But I am very curious to see what kind of card that they book. It should be about 4 to 5 weeks after All Out and All In, and it could be a very different AEW landscape by the time those two pay-per-views conclude. A very interesting landscape. But hold on a second. Of course, Allie again texts me when I'm live. Anywho, crazy announcement. I think it's great for wrestling. I think it's great for the UK fans. I think it's pretty fucking awesome. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes from there. I like the Matt Riddle match against Gunther. I liked the Finn and Seth match. The Money in the Bank match was awesome. They really did. They obviously know what's going on with LA Knight because they teased him massive as being the guy that was going to take that briefcase, but he's not. I could probably say that he is going to be probably the next maybe United States champion. I think if I'm not mistaken, they had him go over Austin Theory in a house show. So it's only really fucking a matter of time. It really fucking is. So I'm curious to see what happens. Hold on. Anywho, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Logan Paul almost fucking died. They tried to do a Spanish fly off the middle rope after falling from a ladder, and that's tough for even talented people. So I'm shocked they tried to do that. He landed right on his head. I think he split his shoulder open or something like that. So that was definitely some crazy shit. Josh, in terms of NXT Europe, it looks like they talked about that at the post media scrum for Money in the Bank. And what Triple H basically said is that the merger with Endeavor has kind of slowed whatever kind of expansions that WWE is doing. So until the ink really dries on that, I don't expect anything to happen in Europe anytime soon. So we will see. I'm happy Drew McIntyre is back. I honestly should have thought that he should have won at Clash at the Castle. There were about a half a dozen people that should have won and beat Roman over the course of his title reign, and guys that could have been put over and had title reigns and had some focus on them. But the way that WWE books the shit, it made it impossible. So I guess McIntyre is going to beat Gunther for the IC title. Now, I always thought it was going to be Sheamus because they always made a point that Sheamus never had an IC title run, which would mean, I would assume, the guy that's going to take it off Drew, if indeed Drew is the next Intercontinental Champion, I think it's going to be Sheamus that takes it off him next. The story's already there. Sheamus hasn't won the belt. I don't think they'll turn Drew heel. But Sheamus could definitely go heel. That's definitely a possibility. Shayna Baszler betrays Ronda Rousey, thus continuing Liv Morgan's streak of accidentally bumbling her way into title runs between the Money in the Bank and gimmick matches and people getting betrayed. It's just I don't understand. This is not a way to get over somebody, But the WWE fans like her, so it's just I just don't know why. I don't see it. The 99% of that division is absolute garbage. I don't like watching it. I get up, I pause YouTube and skip over the commercials after. I don't. It's just bad. I'm trying to think if there was anything else noteworthy from Money in the Bank. Let's see. The betrayal. Going through the notes. Drew McIntyre comes out. Cody defeats Dominic. Like, who fucking cares, dude? Like, they just got Cody doing bullshit until Mania. They're just having him just tread water and have these long drawn out fucking like monologue promos. I really hope they start fucking booing him. Honestly, I mean, Steve would definitely love that, my buddy Steve. But it's just like, you can't, like, this is what didn't work in AEW. Like, it's gonna get to the point where they're gonna be like, but like, if he's gonna be the guy to beat Roman, they're just gonna keep on stretching this out. But to me, it would have meant more if Cody was the guy to pin Roman. You know what I mean? Now he's just getting like the leftovers, you know? The story's already finished. Roman's already been beaten. It was Jay that did it. You know? His story is just getting the belt. It doesn't matter who it's from. So it's just, I'm telling you, man, like they should have never fucking had Cody lose at Mania. And I feel just as strongly as they should have never had LA Knight lose today. I gotta say. It was cool to see Cena back. It was kind of funny, like they started chanting Cena sucks, but actually London chanted thank you, Cena. I kind of thought that that snuck up on me. I kind of thought that the audience, like your pro wrestling fans, were kind of over the John Cena sucks chant, because let's be honest, he's been one of the better characters they created in the last several decades. You know what I mean? Like, it took almost 10 years for Roman to get over. You know what I'm talking about? Like, Cena, like, they shot that guy to the moon, and people fucking loved that motherfucker. He was their new Hogan for a while. And it's going to take a long time before they build anyone up like that. Now, it's very possible that Roman could reach a really high babyface heights. I mean, he's the mega heel right now. They could always run a storyline where their bloodline gets reunited, and he becomes a tribal chief, and he becomes an honorable chief, and all this shit. And, like, maybe it's not even, like, maybe, like, The Rock is involved, and he fights The Rock, and The Rock's heel, and Roman beats him and puts him over, and, you know, all this shit. So, like, there's a very strong possibility that Roman could still be their guy in terms of that big baby face, because right now they don't have a big baby face. I mean, the closest thing they have to that right now is Rollins and Cody. What else was there? They had the Women's Money in the Bank match. Io Sky won. Nobody cares. And Jimmy and Jay beat Solo and Roman. Collision tonight, pretty stacked card, but a very tame show I felt tonight. I mean, maybe it was just the crowd, you know? I mean, like, obviously, hey, listen, I don't expect Collision to be like wow, like to wow me every week, just like I don't believe like Dynamite will wow me every week, but the matches on here were fucking good, dude. Like, if you were a pro wrestling fan, the matches were good. They actually had legitimate storyline. Like, it felt like an important show. You know what I mean? Let's go forward. Let's talk about first match of the night. MJF was contractually obligated to appear in Hamilton. He shows up. He beats local guy Kip Morris in a non-title match, in about a 28-second match. Beat him. MJF got on the mic, started shitting on the crowd as per usual. Says he'll take anyone else from Hamilton that's in the back, and he'll even put his AEW title on the line to do so. And sure enough, Ethan Page comes out. Ethan Page, who I knew was from Canada, just didn't know what part of Canada he was from, but apparently he's from Hamilton. He comes out. He calls MJF a bare minimum bitch. Says that, his dad worked hard for a living and became very successful, and he's going to do the same thing. He said he's going to work. He works for the company. He took on 24 hours notice. He took a flight to help with the promotional duties for the shows in Canada, because the Canada guy left his wife and kid. And he says, he says that MGF would never do anything like that, but Ethan Page actually works for this company. So they had a very good match. It was obvious that Ethan Page wasn't going to win, but it was a very good match. It's great to see a guy like Ethan Page being showcased on a show like Collision. It's supposed to be a show where guys that we haven't seen start getting showcased a lot more. I feel like Collision could be like the land of misfit toys. You know what I mean? It's going to be all these guys that they were just like so many other things going on in Dynamite in terms of like putting over younger talent. They could start having guys that like we already know and just give them their show and let them do their thing. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much what Collision has been, you know, and I feel like for the most part, it's been very successful. MJF beats Ethan Page. Match went about like 10 or 11 minutes. It was the knee that MJF worked over. I feel like this definitely means I know that they were trying to push him to be baby faces when they paired him up with the Hardys, and you know, Matt was saying he was going to be a good man, so this could be a step in that direction. Ethan Page could be coming about as a baby face. And listen, the guy, to me, I mean, this might be, it may not be an exact comparison, but like Ethan Page is like LA Knight in AEW. Like, he's the guy that everybody likes. He's good on the ring. He's good in the mic. There just aren't any opportunities for him. You know what I mean? But I think that with a show like Collision, it's possible. I mean, he did have a match on television for the title against the world champion. So I'm very curious to see as to where that's going to go going forward in terms of Ethan Page. Does this mean we're going to see him a lot more? I'm not sure. Next was the Owen Hart Foundation quarterfinal. Powerhouse Hobbs accompanied to the ring with, by QT Marshall and Harley Cameron, that Australian blonde bombshell that they have set out there. I'm like, holy moly, free holy.
Come get on the train.
So great match between Hobbs and Dustin. You know, Dustin gets split open. He kicks out of the spine buster. Hobbs kicks out of a crossroads and a pile driver. Great match. Hobbs comes away with the victory. It's going to be Hobbs moving on to face the winner of the following matches on the show tonight. Miro is showcased. He beats another guy, some no-name guy who's part of the Workhorsemen, Anthony Henry. 3-minute match, beats him. That's pretty much it. Gives him the Machka kick and the game over for the submission victory. Very curious to see what they're going to do with Miro. He's on a trajectory. He's beating all these guys, but for what's the end game? Where is this leading? Obviously, this is going to lead to some sort of title. What title is he going to be going for? What singles titles are out there right now? We have the TNT champion, which is Luchasaurus / Christian. We have Orange Cassidy, who's the international champion. He could be, who knows? Is he going after an ROH belt? Is he going after a New Japan belt? I'm not sure, but something's going on with Miro. They're obviously showcasing him for a reason, and he's putting out and wins, so we'll see. Shivani comes out. He comes out with Bullet Club Gold, which now includes the Gun Club, which I thought was a fantastic addition. There's so many cool monikers you could have for them. They were calling them the Golden Guns, which I thought was great. Top shelf guys, all this shit. So Bullet Club comes out. Jay White, Juice Robinson, and Austin and Colton Gunn. They were booing the Guns, booing Jay White, booing the Bullet Club. They were getting great heat. The Guns started going down the list of all the people they beat. They beat the Acclaimed, and they beat FTR. They beat CM Punk. Shivani then announced that all members of Bullet Club were going to be banned from the Juice Robinson-Ricky Starks match, which they were none too happy about. White basically took the mic, told Shivani to shut up, blamed him for the stipulation, said if you didn't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. He grabs the mic, calls out Punk, said he brought out a red bag a few weeks ago, claimed there was something gold in it. So he's like, you know, you better be careful who you dangle that thing in front of, because Jay White's known to get a little bit enticed by gold. He then also challenged out FTR for an AEW tag team title match. Him and Juice Robinson versus FTR. So we'll see where that goes. This led to a backstage video promo with Punk. talking to the guys in the ring. Punk called MJF's belt a replica from ShopAEW.com. FTR accepted the challenge for the belts. And Ricky Starks said he was going to beat Juice. The following match, Ricky Starks defeating Juice Robinson to advance to the Owen Hart tournament. So it looks like it's going to be Ricky Starks versus Powerhouse Hobbs. This match went about 15-16 minutes. Great match. Just as good as the last time they had wrestled. Robinson got the Texas Cloverleaf on Starks. Starks got out with a rope break. Juice almost got the pin with a rolled up and grabbing the tights. Starks hit a high angle back suplex for a near fall. Then there was a Hurricane Rana attempt off the top rope, but Starks blocked it. He tried to go for a Rochambeau. Robinson, he gets out of it. Starks rolls him up with a jackknife cover for a pin. I thought it was great. I love Ricky Starks. I like Juice Robinson. I like the fact that they're getting some shine on television. They had a good match. A match that goes, 15, 16 minutes. It's good television time. Sorry, guys. I stayed up until 5 a.m. playing Diablo. So, the next match, they had a interview with Lexi Nair backstage with Christian Cage. Sean Spears interrupts the interview. It looks like it's going to be Sean Spears who wants a shot at the TNT title. Sean Spears being a guy from Canada, I'm pretty sure they're just loading up these shows with all the Canadian local boys, and I believe Spears is from Toronto, so they're just going to put anyone who's from Canada there. Chris Statlander defeats Lady Frost to retain the AEW TBS title. This match went about 6-7 minutes. It was, a solid match. I like Chris Statlander. I just hope that they just give her... I don't want to just see her just wrestle random people. I want her to have good stories. You know what I mean? So I think good story, because when you go back on title reigns, people always say like, oh, remember this or remember that. Those are stories. I want good stories to be created for Chris Statlander, so her title reign could be filled with them. That's all. And fighting people like Lady Frost with no build and it's just like she's just a person. There we go. That to me doesn't build that legacy. Lexi Nair interviews Andrade. Andrade's all pissed off. He keeps on saying he wants his mask. I thought it was kind of stupid. He's like, I want my mask. I want it back. You took it. I want it. I wish they would have explained that, like, it's, like the significance of it, or at least Andrade explained, like, as a luchador, like, the mask is important. It's sacred. You guys are disrespecting me. Like, this is why I'm taking it that way. But, Andrade doesn't speak very good English. He doesn't speak English very well. So, that shit ain't gonna happen. You know what I mean? Until his capacity to speak English increases, it's gonna be tough for him to cut promos that really get people invested. So they did the best that he did the best he could. It looks like he's having a feud with House of Black, but the question is, where's it gonna lead? Is he gonna get 2 other partners? Is he just gonna end up beating them? Is he going to end up beating Malachi and thus beating all them in singles competition? He beat Buddy Matthews. He got the DQ win on Brody. So we'll see. We will see. It looks like next week on Collision, FTR versus Juice Robinson and Jay White in a title eliminator match. They're doing Athena versus Willow Nightingale for the Owen Hart women's semifinal match. I almost thought that they had that match, but it was Willow versus Toni Storm at Forbidden Door. Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs and CM Punk, and the winner of the main event of the night, which was Samoa Joe defeating Roderick Strong via a ref stoppage. He's going on to fight CM Punk next week on Collision. This match was fantastic. Roderick Strong is a fucking machine. That guy just keeps going and going and going, and he just does not ever stop. Great cardio. Samoa Joe is a beast. A fantastic match. Joe ends up reversing a end of heartache attempt and putting in the rear naked choke for the win. He has a stare down with Punk. He grabs a chair. Security splits them up. That allows Samoa Joe to go into the ring and lay out Roderick Strong onto a chair. That calls for a stretcher job. Both Punk and Adam Cole both came out to give their support to Roderick Strong as he was laid out. I was kind of hoping that it was going to set the seeds for something going on with Adam Cole and CM Punk, saying like, just people just, like a storyline. Well, people just get, like dragged into your shit and they get hurt. And, it's just, like Strong had nothing to do with the beef that you have with Samoa Joe and vice versa, but he was collateral damage. Like I thought they were going to do something along those lines, but it never did happen. I think a Punk versus Jay White program is going to be the next like singles program that's going to be going on. And then I very much think that there's potential for Adam Cole depending on how they wanted to pick Punk and how they wanted to pick Cole. Because like Punk right now is kind of like a tweener. Like it really just depends on where he is. He'll get booed or he'll get cheered. He's like legit like Cena right now. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. Adam Cole right now is like a babyface. He's in this program with MJF. So I honestly don't see MJF. I'm sorry. I don't see Adam Cole getting into anything significant until this whole deal with MJF is done with. They're going to stretch out this title eliminator tournament. They're probably going to do the betrayal, and this will be a match that they'll have at either All In or All Out, or maybe even Grand Slam because it is MJF's hometown, so it's very possible that could happen. That would be a match that could bring tickets in to Grand Slam, MJF versus Adam Cole. And that, guys, is the show. We got a couple of people in the chat. And we finished a little bit early. I got some time for some questions. She's hot. That's why. Who's hot? Doom. Who are we talking about? Oh, Liv Morgan. Oh, that's probably who I was talking about. Yeah, I guess so, man. She is super attractive, so Vince loves his blondes, so it makes sense. Yeah, I liked Juice. I liked CJ Parker when he was in NXT. I liked his gimmick. I liked the evolution that he went through in New Japan. And I like where he's at right now, definitely. Yeah, it's true, Doom. Cole could definitely be a lot more, like, I would like to see him a little bit bigger, a little bit more shredded, you know what I mean? Like with a physique like Roderick Strong, definitely. I never thought that his physique was any different in NXT, to be quite honest. I don't know why people were saying, oh, he looks different. He looks exactly the fucking same to me as he did in NXT, dudes. You know what I mean? When they had those Undisputed Era, like, armbands, you could tell they were made for someone who had, like, bigger arms than Adam. But Adam Cole is still one of the greatest wrestlers alive. You know what I mean? I just wish people, like, you know, like, we're nitpicking at stupid fucking bullshit. Who's the next breakout star for the WWE? Aside from LA Knight, I would say Damian Priest, honestly. The guy has the in-ring skills. He could talk on the mic. He has charisma. They obviously trust him enough to be with a guy like Bad Bunny and wrestle in Puerto Rico. So he's got the international appeal. They could always run that back, and this time he could be tag team partners with Bad Bunny if he's going to be babyface. You know, Vince knows that there's a market for Latin wrestlers. You know what I mean? So it's very possible. It's very possible that the next breakout star is going to be Damian Priest. Oh yeah, that's right, Doom. When Danielson and Omega had that classic at Grand Slam, it was Punk that came out after and did Send Hook. Yeah. All right, guys. It was a pleasure, as always, to do another podcast episode with you guys. Thanks to Josh and Doom in the chat for being so active. Appreciate it. Next episode will be Wednesday, 10 p.m., the post-Dynamite show. We'll see what's going on. We're going to talk about Raw, see if they have any follow-up from Money in the Bank. I would assume there should be a lot of follow-up with Damian Priest being a Raw guy and winning Money in the Bank. And But yeah, stay tuned to this channel. Like I said, as always, the best way to know what's going on and when I'm going to be live is to subscribe, like, all that stuff. Tell your friends. Eventually, we will begin to expand the podcast. Like I said, it is a work in progress. But for those of you here right now on the cutting room floor, enjoy the journey, man, because we're going to do some great stuff here. That's pretty much it. This is Eric. I'm signing off. Smells like Wrasslin. Another episode in the can, guys. I'll see you next on Wednesday after Dynamite.